What if I told you your blood sugar isn't really controlled by the big moments, the diagnosis, the new medication, the crash diet, but by tiny, invisible decisions that add up quietly in the background, like compound interest? In this episode, Cory shows you how those choices are working for you or against you. Hey, welcome to the Diabetes Remission Roadmap podcast with the two renegade pharmacists, Brian Bisher and Cory Jenks. You are listening to this because you are a person with type 2 diabetes who is committed and driven to breaking free from this diagnosis and creating a real, meaningful change in your health and life. In these episodes, we're here to help you ditch the scripts with doses of unconventional wisdom on topics such as fitness, nutrition, medication, mindset, and more. So without any further delay, let's dive right in.
Welcome to the Diabetes Remission Roadmap podcast. You might notice that it is just me if you're watching, and if you're listening, you might be thinking, hey, why isn't Cory making fun of Brian's armpit hair? It's because I'm traveling and I wanted to do something solo for you as I record this. So travel's a bit of a theme of this podcast episode, but the other theme that I really want to hit you with right at the top is compound interest. Now, this is the type 2 diabetes remission roadmap podcast. This isn't the personal finance podcast. So why am I talking about compound interest? Because compound interest is one of those things that can really change your life for the better or for the worse. It's something that with money, that if we save a little bit over a long period of time, that time and those small good decisions you make for yourself will compound and leave you with a nice, cozy retirement nest egg, depending on inflation. But if you go into debt and are forced to pay interest on that debt will drown you and you will not get that cozy nest egg for retirement. Why am I talking about compound interest? Well, bringing it back, I'm on the road right now as I recorded this. I'm in San Diego, which is much cooler than Tucson. So shout out to my wife for watching the three kids in the heat of Tucson. However, at the beginning of this week, she was out of town for work. And with me in charge of a 2-year-old, a 5-year-old, and a 7-year-old, there was less time for Cory. There was less me time. There was less time to do the things that I normally do to take care of myself. Tuesday and Wednesday morning, I couldn't go to the gym. Normally, I would go for a run one of those days. Instead, I stayed home because I had to wait till the kids woke up. They're not quite. My 7-year-old did ask, "Hey, Dad, can I just stay home alone?" And he said that with a knife in his hand as he was trying to start a fire with a flint. And that is not a lie. He has been starting fires, supervised, but no, I was not going to leave him alone. So I had to be there in the morning when they woke up. So I woke up, did a little light workout at the end of both days, Tuesday and Wednesday. Still was hitting that 10 to 15,000 step range. So I still got a lot of steps, but I didn't get as strong of a workout in as I normally would. And then I was getting ready for bed and I didn't have time to, I like to use a water pick to clean my teeth at the suggestion of my dentist and dental hygienist. And so with the kids running rampant, granted, this is like a 30-second task, and I just didn't have it in me at the end of the day. So I didn't do it a couple of nights in a row. And it got me thinking about the little habits that can add up over time. So if like over time, instead of really pushing my muscles to exhaustion, I would get weaker instead of stronger. And over time, if I don't take proper care of my teeth, it will compound into a problem with my with my teeth. Could be cavities, could be gum disease. And it got me thinking about how we take care of our blood sugar and how those little decisions can compound over time. And so, what I really want us to think about are yes, we want to make big changes to improve our blood sugar, but what are we going to do every day to make sure we're making those small changes? Because those small little choices that get us further from our target, if you're flying a plane or you're taking a ship across the ocean, those small half a degree changes over long periods of time, you will find that you are not at the destination you want to be. And this is what I see with a lot of the clients that I work with, that Brian and I work with my patients in my clinic, is that it wasn't just one day you woke up and decided to drink soda and you were eating a lot of fried carbs and said exercise and movement isn't for me. It's a lot of the little things over time. the breakfast gets changed from making it myself to grabbing a Pop-Tart. I can't tell you the number of times I've heard I used to go to the gym, but now I just don't have the time to go to the gym. And so we've got to make sure that when we're making these choices, we understand that they compound over time. And as with money, you want to make sure compound interest is working for you and not working against you. And so what we really emphasize with the clients we take care of, with my patients, is that, boy, it would be great if we had the time and energy and ability to rip the Band-Aid off and just change everything, course correct everything all at once. But if you ever try to drink from a fire hose, and I have not, I many have accused me of not being that bright, mostly from my own family, but I know enough not to try to drink from a fire hose, is that you just cannot consume all of that all at once. And when someone has been struggling with their blood sugar for a long time, there is often, especially if someone has, whether it's a provider, a coach, a family member, a friend, all well-intentioned, has this information. And you, oh my gosh, if you just hear all this information, it's going to change your life. Let me give you all of this stuff all at once. And it's overwhelming. It sets you up for failure because when inevitably you can't do the 38 steps your cousin told you to control your blood sugar, you feel like a failure and you're like, screw it. Why am I even going to try? What's the point of all of this? And so we want to work on making compounding choices that are going to compound well over time. And for me, with my kids home, it made it harder. Now it's all about what we're moving towards and moving towards and what we're moving from. For me, I am fortunate enough to be at a place where my health and blood sugar is knock on wood is sort of in an optimization phase. So I don't have blood sugar problems. I have a pretty decent exercise capacity. So now it's about eking out a little bit 1% of gains, whether it's muscle strength, whether it's that ability to run that longer mile harder, whether it's tightening up my diet on the margins, depending on how low I want my body fat to be. And I don't really care if it's in single digits because that's not healthy long term anyway. But for you, working from where you are, we want to get you to where you want to be. And that means starting with small, simple, sustainable changes that are compound over time. Now, a trap that I see people fall into with compound interest, whether it's saving money or changing your eating habits to improve your blood sugar, is that with compound interest, with money, you could save even a decent amount of money for a year, a couple years, even 3 or 4 years, but you don't see the huge benefit of that compound interest. And as an aside, this is not financial advice. Go to investor.gov and play with the compound interest calculator and do it over like a 30-year time horizon. And the reality is you don't really see that compounding growth until maybe you're 5, 10, 15, and then it just starts going absolutely crazy. In the meantime, it's really hard looking at your investment account or your bank account and not seeing that number go up, saying, geez, Louise, I am doing this every month. Why am I not seeing the results? Well, that's why you often have a financial advisor or coach to remind you that you're making these decisions because of the long-term benefits you're going to see. What does this have to do with your blood sugars? Sometimes you start making these small changes, the walks after meals, some light strength training, changing out some protein for some, exchanging in some protein and fiber for some of those refined carbs. And many times we do see a dramatic improvement. Like if you're going from drinking a 2 liter of soda a day to no soda a day, there's usually a pretty decent dramatic improvement. But if you're making some of these smaller choices that in the long run are going to be sustainable, you might not see the dramatic improvement you were hoping for right away. And that's why having a guide, a coach, a doctor, a nurse, whoever is in your corner cheering you on, giving you the reminders that these small compounding choices are going to sustain over time. And the thing with compound interest is once they become a habit, once these things compound, you see the huge benefit. And what we're hoping for you, what I hope for you, is that you're willing and able to make some of these changes that seem small, like a 5 minute walk after meals. This is nothing. Cory, come on, my blood sugar's too high. Well, I'm telling you, I've had patients who just start walking during commercial breaks in place in their house because they give me an excuse of why they can't go outside and walk. So I say, do you like TV? Oh yeah. Okay, walk during commercial breaks in place. And I've seen insulin doses reduced with just the walking during a 60-minute program, which is going to be about 20 minutes of commercials anyway. So you're going to get your 20 minutes of walking in this small period of time. And this is just an example of one small compounding change that will one, create a great habit for you lifelong that will help keep your blood sugar under control. But I guess I'm just here to acknowledge first, noticing that those little compounding things that were going to be working against me as I was solo parenting, and for all the full-time solo parents out there, kudos to you. And this is about making things easy and sustainable for you as well. But one, noticing the little things that we're doing that are getting us away from our goals, that if we continue to do them, we'll compound in a negative way. And then working towards a way of creating compounding habits that may seem small, that in the short term you might feel like they're insignificant, but over time are going to add up to something much more substantial. So, my hope for you is to treat your blood sugar and your habits and your health like we should hopefully all treat our money, and let compound interest be, boy, I forget the quote. Is it the eighth wonder of the world? And was it Einstein who said it? Man, this is not a history podcast. It's a diabetes podcast. But the point is, compound interest can be an amazing thing for you. And whether it's your money, your health, making those small choices every day, or as often as you can, will lead you closer to your goal. And like myself, my wife left for work. I didn't do everything that I normally would, but I still did something. I still hit 10,000 steps a day. I still ate whole foods for the most part. I only ate my feelings a little bit. My wife left me a nice bar of dark chocolate as a thank you for watching the kids. So I got into that a bit. All right. I'm here on vacation. It's not really a vacation. It's a working trip, but I am very close to getting my steps in. At the airport, waiting for the plane, there was a little delay. I walked in circles around the terminal. Like that little thing added up. I brought snacks with me so I didn't eat the carby mess that they fed me on the plane or that are at the conference I'm at. All right. I'm not maybe getting to optimal health, but for my just general health, I'm still making those compounding choices. So go out there, start using compound interest for your benefit. If you're interested in learning more about managing your blood sugar, check out our masterclass. We'll put it in the show notes. And don't worry, Brian and I aren't fighting. We're just on different time schedules with our families and travel right now. And if you love the solo podcast, let us know. and but not too much. If you really like me more than Brian, don't tell him that. It's going to hurt his feelings. But the solo pods let us get these out there a little more frequently. These are great opportunities for Q&A episodes as well. So I've rambled enough. It's been a long day of travel, but I needed to give you something because I just had this insight of compound interest being good for money and good for your health. So check out the masterclass. Thanks for listening. Thanks for watching. And we'll check you next time on the Diabetes Remission Roadmap podcast.
Thanks for listening. Now go ahead and hit that subscribe button so you don't miss a single episode, and you can join us on the journey and roadmap to remission. Thanks for listening to the Diabetes Remission Roadmap. The ideas discussed here are for general informational purposes only and do not constitute medical or nutritional advice. We are pharmacists, but we're not your personal healthcare providers. Always consult your own physician or qualified clinician before changing medications, exercise routines, or nutrition plans. Results vary, and what works for one person may not work for another.